Okay, now that we got a really strong plan for this business and we're up and running, we got an operating plan as well. We're moving and shaking, selling stuff. There's something that is missing. There's this kind of invisible glue that ties the whole company together, and it's called culture. The culture of the company. So you might wonder, where the heck does culture come from? Guess who? All of you. But where does it really come from? It comes from the top management of the company, the founders of the company, the CEO for sure, who's the kingpin in all this, that portrays the culture of the company always and consistently, never wavering on what the culture of this company is and what it's all about. So let's talk about what makes up a culture. It's kind of loose, isn't it? It's like smoke. You put your hand on it and it moves. It's something that is real and felt and impacts the company greatly. Let's go through it. The culture of a company comes predominantly from what the values are that are held dear by the leaders of the company. And they're communicated by the leaders of the company. And it's done consistently. And you're reminded of it constantly. The way the leadership acts, and soon every employee within the company comes to believe in these values, acts upon them, makes decisions based upon them, relates to one another with these values in mind. Everyone is thinking, here's what we hold as important. These are our values. They can say them to you. You might find it on posters in the conference rooms within the company or in the offices of certain individuals. It's what you hold to be most important about being in this business. The values that you never waver from. They're always the case. People can count on them. That's how important it is. The culture of a company is also founded in the purpose of the company. What is this company all about? What is it trying to do? What purpose is it fulfilling? Yeah, there's a market opportunity, but you step back from it all. What are we doing that's important to others? What is our purpose? What are we all about? The CEO and top management of the company ought to portray that, explain to you what we're all about. They were there in the founding of the company. What caused all this to happen in the first place? Where did this company come from? What does it believe in? It's maybe even a bigger purpose and something that helps mankind in general, for example. It's kind of lofty, but it could be that. Whatever the purpose is, it's communicated consistently by the top management of the company and becomes adopted by everyone else. There's commitment involved. The CEO of the company values making a commitment and following through on it. We make commitments and we meet them, or we explain why we didn't. And perhaps we even apologize for not following through on a commitment. The top management of the company should be counted on because they make commitments to the organization, they make commitments to the customers, they make commitments to investors, and they follow through on them. You watch them. You can count on their word. You want them to be known as people you can count on because they follow through on what they say they're going to do. And the reason they do that is they are high integrity people. They are truthful. They hold a high standard on truthfulness. You can take their word to the bank. They're high integrity people. If the top leadership is that way, the people within the company, the employees who follow their leadership, will count on that integrity and have integrity themselves. That's what you want to have happen. A company built on integrity is very, very strong. The leadership of the company and everyone within the company has the ability to establish strong working relationships with each other. They're built on trust. Trusting each other is a strong bind between individuals within the company. Trust is something you focus on and try to achieve as you build these relationships with others in the company. This happens over time. The top management of the company holds trust as a high standard within the company. We trust each other. We believe what people say, and we trust that they're going to do what they say. We back them always. Trust is the foundation of strong teamwork. And that's why it's so important. Teams that are working together, trust one another, have high regard for one another, have built strong relationships with one another. If they're really clicking with each other and trust one another, there's nothing they can't accomplish. And they take a great deal of pride in doing so. But that level of trust, again, is fostered by the top management of the company. If top management trusts you, you're going to trust them. People will trust one another. If a company is built on distrust and doubtfulness about the effectiveness of people, you're going to have the opposite occur, and you don't want that to happen. Top management should be known as being transparent. That means that there's a level of honesty about them and forthrightness about them, that they tell you the truth. They don't try to sugarcoat stuff. They don't try to hide the truth. They tell people within the company the way things are and what we're going to do about it, honestly. Now, there's certain maybe personal things that you don't be transparent about, but for the most part, business things that are going on in the industry, things that are going on with our customers, things that are going on with a board of directors, things going on with our investors, shows through the CEO of the company in a transparent way. People want to know what the heck is going on. So tell them, if the top management of the company is viewed as being transparent, that means they are being honest with us. Lots of good things will happen from that, including teamwork. Compassion is an important element of the culture of a company. The management of the company is compassionate to employees and works with them when they have issues, and spends time understanding the needs of the employees of the company. Within teams, people are compassionate with one another. They take time to understand each other and what each other's strengths and weaknesses are, how to work with them effectively, and build compassion into your working relationships with one another. Mutual respect is also important. If there's compassion and transparency and these strong, trusted relationships emerging, mutual respect is something that will come from that. If there are trusted working relationship, mutual respect will usually follow. Empathy is an important one, which people don't often think of, particularly in this difficult time of the pandemic we're living through. Really understanding how that is impacting your team members and other employees you're working with. If they're having issues, you listen, and try to hear more about what they're saying, but more about how they're feeling and what's driving a position that they're taking. Listening with empathy is an important characteristic to build strong teams and build a strong culture within your company. Being empathetic is okay. The management of the company should also spend time on recognizing great work and providing ways to recognize it informally, like saying thank you, and even shaking hands when we're allowed to do that. Click elbows maybe instead of shaking hands. Management, knowing that a major accomplishment has been achieved and recognizes the people that made it happen, goes a long way. Everybody sees it, that the CEO knows what was done, who did it, and thanked them specifically for making it happen. A simple thing to do. That could be done very informally. Gather around a table in the conference room, and the CEO comes in and talks to them and says thank you. You could have much more elaborate events when you ship a brand new product. Maybe you have a party and a few speeches by top management that also thanks them. Giving out awards to people, monetary awards, or just maybe a fun award, something they could put on the wall in their office and say, I won that one. I won that contest. Have fun, but recognizing supportive behavior and accomplishment. In so doing, you are also showing your appreciation for their work. Again, as in much more formal recognition, just day-to-day appreciation. Thank you very much for doing that thing for me, whatever it is. But have the attitude that we appreciate people doing what they're doing. it will have the tendency to continually strengthen the bond between people within the company. Then, what's really important, that this culture is nurtured day after day after day, and it's done consistently. Never deviate from the purpose and your values and everything else that's going into the culture of your company. Never, ever allow a breach of trust. That is a killer. So be consistent, be true to your culture, and nurture it every day. As a senior management of your company, never forget that this is one of the most important things that you do on a daily basis. With that, have a great day.